City Hall Council Chambers, which is not true, in a Zoom meeting located at 1716 West Main Street. However, this is a Zoom meeting on Monday, October the 19th, 2020 at 2 p.m. Roll call, and I'll just call out each of you and you can let me know. Greg Aiello.
Aiello here.
Aiello. Ann Mullins.
Mullins here.
Richard Yaws.
I'm here.
Ron Wyrick. All right, we have a quorum. As of 2 o'clock, we did not have any citizens' comments, so we'll move on to new business and item 1A, and discuss and/or take action to block grant mitigation program application to the Texas General Land Office, authorizing the mayor and the mayor pro tem to act as the city's executive officers and authorized representatives in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the Community Development Block Grant Program and to commit local funds to the project. City Manager, would you like to comment?
This is just a part of the procedural process. City Council met in a special meeting 2 weeks ago to approve the submission of the proposal. After that 14-day period has transpired where it was available for the public to view, this is now the formal resolution that will be agreed to by the city for the final submission for the grant. It lays out the total cost of the grant, which is $4,928,058.07, with a matching of 1% from the city, which will come out of the street sales tax account. This is just another part of the formal procedural process to get the grant actually submitted for approval.
Okay, could I have a motion and then I'll read the resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R 2020-11.
Thank you. The resolution number R 2020-011, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, authorizing the submission of a Community Development Block Grant Mitigation, CDBG-MIT program application to the Texas General Land Office and authorizing the mayor to act as the city's executive officer and authorized representative in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program. Is there any discussion?
This was Richard. As I understand it, this is again furthering with the discussions we've had in at least 2 prior meetings regarding flood mitigation for the city through a federal grant.
That is correct. And our portion is only 1% of the project.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
I believe you need a second before we vote.
Oh, I thought I heard one. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right. If there's no other discussion, then we'll go ahead and vote on item 1A. Greg?
Aiello, yes.
Mullins?
Mullins, yes.
Yaw?
Y'all's yes.
And we have the motion passes. Item 1B, discuss and/or take action to consider approving the CDBG-MIT pre-agreement cost approval for administration and engineering for the city's CDBG-MIT application to Texas General Land Office. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the CDBG-MIT pre-agreement cost approval for administration.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion on this? Jeff, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, just what I've already added as part of the first part. This is just another procedural requirement. This basically lays out that the city of Gun Barrel City, Texas is agreeing to enter into this agreement as a pre-agreement cost stratagem. We're just acknowledging that we will comply with all federal and all applicable state and federal laws regarding to the procurement and processes of this grant.
Okay.
Hello, Jeff. Just wanted to so this actually, everything that we're seeing here, just to, reiterate on a point, has been available to every citizen in Gun Barrel City so that they can actually review it, ask you questions and things of that sort. That's the understanding? Because again, we want to keep everything open to everybody. We want to make sure that we have citizens' input so that there is no misinterpretation of what people are reading or people are misunderstanding. Am I getting that clear?
Yes, we followed. Janet posted as required the notices that she got from Mr. Schaff to comply with and conform with the requirements for the federal grant. We've had this grant proposal available at City Hall for the last 2 weeks as required. So the public was open to the public. The public had the opportunity to make any comments or concerns known to the city during that 2-week period. That 2-week period has closed.
Thank you, Jeff.
And
Jeff,
the motion that we're voting on is a letter to the director of the CDBG program, letting them know that we are in agreement that we want to file this.
That is correct.
All right.
Jeff,
Richard?
thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry to interrupt. Jeff, have there been any inquiries, or Janet, have there been any inquiries from public regarding this grant or any part of this program?
To my knowledge, no. I'm not sure anyone's even came and looked at. We had this out on a table in the foyer, available to the public, and I'm not sure. Someone could have came and looked. I don't monitor that part of the office all day, but I've not received any formal questions at all from any members of the public.
Janet, any to you?
I haven't. And just to add to that, it's also posted on the front page of our website. So if anyone wanted to go look at it that couldn't make it into City Hall, they could do that online.
So in the interest of full transparency, it appears that we've completely followed every law and every step required, and then some, to try and make sure that anyone who may have a question has the full ability to come in and see this if they had so chosen. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion? If not, we'll take a vote. Aiello?
Aiello, yes.
I can't say your name. I'm sorry. Mullins?
Mullins, yes.
Yaws?
Yaws, yes.
We'll have a class afterwards on how to say your name.
No problem.
I've butchered it all along. All right, item 1C. Discuss and or take action to approve the environmental review determination for administrative and engineering activities deemed non-applicable or exempt activities as relating to the application preparation and management of the grant if awarded. City Manager, do you have anything you want to say on that?
This is just a completed form that's required by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. It lays out the exemptions and itemizes certain circumstances that may be necessary for us to address. And in this document, we have shown that we do not meet any of those criteria. I believe it's a federal requirement that that document be submitted as a condition of the grant proposal.
All right, could I have a motion, please?
Sure, I'll make a motion to discuss and or take action to approve the environmental review determination for administrative and engineering activities deemed not applicable or exempt activities as relating to the application preparation and management of the grant if awarded.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? I did want to ask about the exemptions. I understand we do not have anything in a floodplain that would require environmental concern. Stacy, is there anything else that we need to know about these exemptions?
Not at this time. This really pertains to the administrative and engineering activities. The environmental will be conducted once we find out if the grant is funded. So as far as I know, it's probably going to end up being a full assessment. From talking with the coordinator in our office that does the environmental clearances, I guess.
Right.
Anyhow, so we won't know anything until we get further into it, but she has told me that most likely it's probably going to end up being a full assessment. So
Is there any chance that we're going to run into any kind of an 8-step process?
not that I'm aware of. She will let me know as soon as she knows of anything. It's going to be a red, if there's a red flag, should anything come along, she'll let me know right away. But at this point in time, there's nothing that tells us that we're up against anything like that. So, yeah.
And are the costs for any additional reports or surveys going to be covered with this project? Or
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
okay.
they are. Yeah, they will be covered in it. They're all rolled up into our fee. So the entire environmental portion of it is rolled into our fee. So it's all covered in it.
And my last question is, do we have to send out bids to get an environmental report, or is this something you can handle?
No bids will be necessary on this. And in fact, Carrie Beth in our office who does this, she'll be handling all of that.
All
So
right.
everything should be pretty much turnkey.
Very
So,
good.
yeah.
Any other questions? No? If not, we'll take a vote. Greg?
Aiello, yes.
Mullins?
Mullins, yes.
Yaws?
Y'all's yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. All right, item 1D, discuss and or take action to adopt ordinance number O-2020-031, amending ordinance O-2020-025, which adopted the 2021 fiscal year budget so as to correct a formula error. City Manager, would you like to describe what we have here?
Yes, and I have Mickey Rainey, our treasurer, in my office with me. While Mickey was processing the final budget numbers, it came to her attention that there was a line item number of $4,000 that did not compute in the program during the final tabulation of the budget. So what it did not reconcile. The numbers that we budgeted were actually $4,000 less than were itemized. So in order to correct the error, the easiest way was to just reduce a line item. We reduced the line item in the administrative budget for contingency, reduced it from $10,000 to $6,000, which brings the budget into balance. In the event sometime in the next fiscal year, we need to use that contingency money above and beyond the $6,000 that is in the line item, we could do a budget adjustment for that. It was during the processing of the numbers, a computation formula was deleted from a line, which did not add into the final budget number. When she went back and hand calculated all the numbers, she located and discovered the error in numbers. The easiest way to correct it versus taking money out and transferring it into the budget would be just to reduce a line item. Since we haven't spent any of that money yet in the last couple of years, that contingency line item has not been fully utilized anyways. So in the event that we need it, it would be easy enough at some time down the road to do a budget adjustment for that.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 0-2020-31, amending ordinance 0-2020-25, to adopt the 2020-2021 fiscal year budget so as to correct the formula error.
Second.
Have a second, Greg? All right, any discussion?
Well, Yeah, I'd like to, so my understanding, and I'll try to keep this as simplistic as possible for the, computer challenged. So in Excel or whatever formula you were using, you had a calculation basically that actually got removed or it got erased somehow, some way when we were doing the budget. Is that my understanding so far, Jeff?
Yeah, it's something pretty general. It was, the formula would add lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Somehow line 1 got deleted from that computation. So it only added 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, for example, and it did not add line 1. So looking at the number was very large. It was over $4 million. The $4,000 that did not get, it's different back in the old days when you're using a pencil and a bunch of papers and you go through with your 10-key calculator. Just as easy, I guess, to make a mistake. We've, unfortunately, as a society, have learned to rely on these computer programs. And fortunately, when Mickey went to put it all into QuickBooks, it didn't balance. And so she was able to identify why it didn't balance and was able to come up with the error, where the error was. She spoke with our auditor, Ms. Culpepper, and she said the best way to handle it would be to do adopt an ordinance to correct so that the budget is balanced moving forward.
Well, great. I want to thank Mickey for catching that. That is the whole point behind the checks and balances and the transparency of what we're doing here and making sure that everybody understands that, we're going to double check and triple check if we have to when we think something may be off, because the last thing we want to do is, again, not actually do what we're supposed to do and what we kind of swore to when we all joined this council. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Mickey for, your due diligence in regards to finding these little, little incorrections that they're, that happens with programs and with the cell formulas. So I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
Jeff, just to clarify, and I feel like I'm being redundant, so I apologize in advance, an input error that could have happened. So in other words, it worked exactly the way it was supposed to?
Correct.
Well, Mickey's still a little bit old school. So rather than just rely 100% on the computer calculations, she does a lot of handwork as well. And when she went to add this all in manually into QuickBooks is where the error was discovered.
All right.
Again, it sounds